to New Generation Man podcast, and I'm excited to meet you again this evening. Thank you so much for making our time to join the webinar today. So, on the webinar today, we're going to take it further in developing our skills and learning better. Because the goal of my challenge is to make sure that people have all the tools that they need to be the best version of themselves, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And in this season on the channel, we're focusing on career development and learning new skills, skills that can help us in our current role, and things that can help us in our work. So in view of that, we decided to do a training on AI productivity. As you all know, AI is fast getting integrated into a lot of things that we do. And if you know you want to stay relevant in the workplace these days, you should learn how you can use AI to elevate what you do, make it better, make your work simpler and faster. And definitely, I'll use AI in my current role also. But the truth is that I know AI can do more. So in the bit of that, I wanted to learn more, and I, beckoned to a colleague that has a passion for this area and is also a tech enthusiast, and we decided to put this webinar together. So please, I really want you to pay attention to this webinar because it's really going to be eye-opening about the use of AI and how it can help you elevate your work and things you can do. So this is just a teaser, to just give you a glimpse into what we have in stock for you on the channel. But if you like the training that we have today and you want to know more, how you can learn more about AI and further trainings that we might have in this category, please reach out to me and I'll let you know the details of how that is going to go. So, but without further delay, I would like to introduce my guest. His name is Victor Asanmi. He is actually a very multi-talented person anyway. He's actually a cybersecurity analyst slash business analyst, and he has a passion for technology and things of that nature. Most recently, he even wrote a book about the use of AI and things of that nature. So when I decided I wanted to have a training, I knew he would be the best person to have this training with. So without much delay, because I want him to, I want us to take our time to see what he has for us, and also we'll get opportunity to ask questions and we'll take it from there. So without further delay, Victor, you have the floor.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Segun.
Yeah.
I hope everyone can hear me clearly and see me clearly.
Yes, we can see you.
Great.
Yes, we can see you
Okay.
and we can hear you.
Okay, good. So it's such a pleasure to be joining you all this evening, and I do appreciate the opportunity. And unfortunately, we're pressed with time, so I'll try as much as possible to make this really fast and engaging at the same time. So help me God. Okay, so I'll go ahead to share my screen in a minute, and we can get things started. So today, we're going to be talking about AI, artificial intelligence. And in Segun's introduction, he sort of gave a background of what AI has become, especially in terms of our work, in terms of businesses. It's already woven into almost every part of the corporate world. And you would be doing yourself a disservice if you're left out in this game called artificial intelligence. So today I'm going to be helping us sort of understand where it came from, where it is right now, and what the future might look like. So I'm hoping that you will learn quite some things in today's session. Bash, I need to be able to Google Meets drives me crazy all the time. Okay, so yeah, let's get a pie started. So we're going to be talking about AI productivity, and I've lost about 2 or 3 minutes, but we can recover. So today I'm going to be talking to us how it all began, some sort of history and background of artificial intelligence. I will be defining it and help us through what is AI and what's not AI, for those of us who might not really grasp that concept fully. And I'm going to be talking about types of AI, its relevance across different sectors, across different industries. We're going to talk about certain specific AI tools. I'm going to explain to us what AI prompting is, and I'm going to be differentiating between using AI, building AI, and building with AI. And I'm going to show some practical use cases, especially of ChatGPT, and I'm going to tell us a little bit about what the future is going to look like. A little bit about myself. I've got 11 years experience in tech. across cybersecurity, business analysis, computer programming, and artificial intelligence. I've got cross-sector experience in the public, private, and non-governmental sectors. And I've got global experience working with ASML in the Netherlands, United Nations, the UK government, other startups in Belgium, and also back in Nigeria. And I have entrepreneur experience because I'm a founder of Iota Analytica. I'm also the co-founder of SVP Consults. And professionally speaking, I've been involved in several speaking engagements. I write lots of articles on LinkedIn. If you go through my profile, I think you find some really resourceful write-ups there. And I also do book review for my senior professional colleagues. I've been part of panel discussions, and I also engage in different kinds of researches. Just a little bit about myself. I'm a certified identity and access manager, and I'm a professional member of the British Computer Society. Not too much about myself today because we don't really have that much time. So how did it all begin? How did it all begin? There was a guy called Alan Turing, a British guy, old guy. He was a scientist, and he was the first person to sort of come up with this question of, can machines think? And that question was just a random idea that popped up in his head. And that would be the foundation of the ideology behind artificial intelligence. Remember Alan Turing, a British guy. And around that was around the 1950s. So that was when AI was conceptualized. But it wasn't called AI because Alan didn't really know what he was talking about. It was just an idea in his head. Towards the 1980s, the healthcare sector sort of had this breakthrough with what's called mycene. Mycene was something that doctors at that time used for differential diagnosis. And it was a matter of, if you have so and so symptoms, then you likely have this kind of disease. And it really revolutionized the way doctors, came up with diagnosis. And then the Japanese in the 1980s as well, they started using robots in their factories for manufacturing their cars. That included Toyota, and that sort of transformed the way AI and robots were being used up until the early 2010s now, when machine learning began to be a thing. I remember in 2011, and for those of you who might remember, when Steve Jobs of Apple announced Siri, and that was the first time that machine learning really became a product, and that put AI in the forefront. And fast forward to 2022, when this guy, the CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, when he announced ChatGPT in 2022, that changed the game of artificial intelligence. Generative artificial intelligence changed the game for life. And right now, everybody has artificial intelligence in their pockets, which Alan Turing in the 1950s never even conceived in his mind. So today, we're going to be delving deeper into the definition of artificial intelligence. For those of you who don't know, there is human intelligence, which is more or less natural intelligence. And then there's artificial intelligence, which is sort of a simulation or a copy of human intelligence. So in a nutshell, artificial intelligence is the ability of machines to do certain tasks that would normally require human intelligence, like understanding a language or recognizing patterns. And the human brain, for example, we understand things. Our brains recognize things in form of patterns. And that's the same science that's behind artificial intelligence. AI is able to recognize certain patterns and is able to make certain predictions. And that's the basic definition of artificial intelligence, the ability of machines to do certain things that only human beings could do, at a particular point in time. And I've started to break this down into what really makes up artificial intelligence. And one of it is the ability to understand natural language. So for those of you that have been engaging with AI in one way or another, You don't need to write codes for it to understand you. And I remember during my programming days, you needed to write code in a certain way using certain syntax so that the computer can understand what you're talking about. But nowadays, with the advent of AI, you only need to interact with artificial intelligence in the natural language, for example, English language, and it will understand you. And another component of this, of AI, is its ability to learn. And that can be loosely translated to the fact that artificial intelligence has got a brain. Like I said, it's a loose translation, which means that AI can learn from data. It can learn from certain patterns. And it cannot just learn, it can remember, which means it's got memory. Again, another loose translation, which means that if you ask AI something last year, or maybe consistently for 6 months, if you ask AI different things, it will update its memory. For those of you who use ChatGPT, you might be really familiar with this. It will update its memory, signifying to you that it has gained new knowledge and it's going to keep it in its repository. And another thing or characteristic of artificial intelligence is its ability to use different tools, which is loosely translated to it having hands. It's able to call on certain tools such as APIs. It's able to call on certain tools to help it automate certain tasks. In a nutshell, it's able to move around and use certain tools. And last but not the least is the autonomosity. By the way, today's the first time that I would come across that word in that way. I've always been used to autonomously, but I didn't know the word autonomosity existed. So I found out today. For those of you who didn't know before, now you know. Now, autonomous in this context, I loosely translated it to mind. So an artificial intelligence that has a brain, that has a memory, that's got hands, limbs, and it's got mind. Definitely, this combination it makes AI almost human-like, because as human being, we've got brain that helps us think, we've got memory that helps us remember, we've got hands or limbs that helps us do all kinds of stuff. Our lower limbs help us walk, our hands, we use our hands for all kinds of things, and it helps us for survival. And we've got a mind as well, which is more like where we put together our thoughts, where we control our thoughts and things like that. So it's more like a simulation. Artificial intelligence is a simulation of human intelligence, but with a lot of limitations. Even with with all of the progress that's been made in technology today, AI still has a lot of limitations, and we will be talking about some of them today. What is not AI? And I just wanted to clarify for those of us that might not have the sort of technical background, just to help clarify so that moving forward, all of the other things that we will be saying, would make more sense. So ChatGPT, for example, it's artificial intelligence because it learns from patterns in language, patterns in response. It learns from it because it wants to be better. An example of an Excel formula, on the other hand, it's a fixed instruction that's been set in Excel. So every time you use plus sign, it will add two numbers together. Anytime you use the multiplication sign or the asterisk, it's going to multiply two numbers together. So it's not learning anything. It's just doing exactly what it's been programmed to do. Another example would be your iPhone Face ID. So when you're setting up your iPhone, it asks you to look straight ahead, turn left, turn right. That's the system or the sort of machine learning that's been programmed into iPhone Face ID. Learns what the shape of your face looks like, the dimensions of your nose, the contours on your face, the bone structure of your face, things like that. And every time you unlock your face with that, using that Face ID, it learns more and more what your face looks like. Another example would be MS Word autocorrect. Now, it is a simple English rules. If you type a particular word in a particular way, it cross references with its database of actual English words, and it corrects you or says, "Oh, you spelled this wrong. There's a right spelling for it." Now, that's not AI, but it's possible that you embed AI into something like Microsoft Word, which would recognize the pattern, the way you type, and it could use that to recommend certain words to you or complete your sentences. Now, that's AI, but just correcting words, that's not AI. That's just applying simple English rules. Another example is Spotify. For those of you that use Spotify, I'm not a huge fan, but for those of you that use it, it learns from your taste. It learns from what kind of songs do you listen to. Maybe you listen to certain songs on Sunday morning. Now, Spotify AI can learn from that. Maybe at certain times of the day, you listen to fast-paced music, and then the AI in Spotify can recognize that maybe this is the time you go to the gym, and then it would recommend certain gym related playlists for you at certain times of the week. So it learns from your habits, it learns from your behavior. And looking at a tool like a calculator, it's been programmed to do certain things. It does not need to learn from what you've done before. It just gives you a particular response every time you use it. So that, I hope, has been able to establish the difference between artificial intelligence and what's not artificial intelligence. And for those of you who've been paying attention, you would realize that from the examples I'm giving, the main difference or the main characteristic of AI is its ability to learn and adapt and suggest and predict. That's the whole idea of artificial intelligence. So what are the different types of AI? We've got the ANI, we've got the AGI, we've got the ASI. Now, I don't want to bore you with any form of technical terms, and I've been intentional, even while preparing this material. I've tried my best to not be technical in any way, so everybody can be carried along. So, what is ANI? Artificial Narrow Intelligence. That's what's called. I couldn't find another name for it, so bear with me. But this narrow intelligence is AI that's been trained to do a certain type of task. For example, ChatGPT has been trained to generate information, to generate content, and that's why it's called generative AI. So its job is to do certain things. For example, ChatGPT's job is to write. Midjourney, for example, its job is to draw. 11 Labs, for example, its job is to work with voice. So this sort of narrow intelligence or artificial narrow intelligence, they're designed to carry out certain type of tasks, which they're really doing in a really remarkable way these days. But AGI is like the next level in terms of AI that can do any task that a human being can. That seems far-fetched, but you would be surprised at the type of things, the type of AI scientists that are building in the laboratory these days. I heard about some of them 2 days ago. It's amazing the resources that the military has to build all kinds of technology that we've not even heard of. ChatGPT became public in 2022, but they've been building it for years before. So we might think that AGI is far ahead in the future, but you would be surprised at what would happen in the next 5 years. Maybe we would have achieved AGI. You never know. But AGI is not yet here. What we're currently experiencing is ANI, artificial narrow intelligence, the ChatGPTs of this world, the Lovables of this world. That's ANI. Now, the Ogapalapata, which is the ASI, artificial super intelligence. Now, this is AI that's smarter than human beings. So this is very theoretical. This is, how scientists can think of the craziest things in their minds, which that's why we've got all this fantastic technology we have these days anyways. But ASI is nowhere near where we are right now. And that's the future where, imagine that there's an AI that's smarter than every human being combined on the face of this earth. That's mind blowing. And I'm not sure if it's going to happen in my lifetime, but since somebody has conceived it, I'm sure that some people are working on it and anything is achievable. So those are the three different types of AI: the narrow intelligence, the general intelligence, and the super intelligence. So how does AI work? I just want to break this down for us just in the simplest way possible. So AI systems, they process data through algorithms to recognize patterns and make decisions. That's the that's how AI works in a nutshell. It's not magic. It's basic, maybe not basic, but it's mathematics at its finest. It's not magic. It processes data and uses certain algorithms to recognize patterns, and it can predict certain things, and it gives you an output. So everything about AI right now, artificial narrow intelligence right now, everything about it is built on data. AI requires vast amounts of both structured and unstructured data to learn from. So what happens when it learns from this data? I'll give an example of data. So AI knows your name, knows where you work, knows how many kids you've got, knows who your best friend is because you post them on Instagram. It knows your postcode because you've entered your postcode on all kinds of websites on the internet because you like shopping. AI knows your phone number because, when you fill forms online, you just type in your phone number. AI knows your email address, lots of information about you. So it's possible that artificial intelligence is used to recognize certain patterns that could be in your behavior. Maybe your eating pattern, maybe your sleeping pattern, maybe your workout pattern or your lifestyle pattern, maybe your relationship pattern. Anything that AI can learn from whatever data it's able to gather on you. And then it predicts certain things I predict that because of the information I've learned about Segun, because of the patterns I've seen in Segun's behavior, I think Segun would like this product. I think Segun would not like this product. Or I think Segun is rich enough to be able to afford this. Let's sell it to him. Something like that. So it makes certain predictions or decisions. And what makes it more interesting is it learns from all of this. It learns from your data. It learns from those patterns. It learns from those predictions. And more importantly, or most importantly, it learns from your response. So if it predicts that Segun would most likely buy this thing, or maybe sneakers, for example, Nike sneakers. It predicts that Segun is mostly going to buy this Nike sneakers, but Segun didn't buy it. Then it's going to learn from why you didn't buy it and come up with a better prediction next time. And that's how AI works in a nutshell. Moving on to the different applications of AI. So these days, AI has been woven into everything. This is not a matter of is it here, is it not here? It's not a matter of how popular is AI. It's everywhere: media, education, environment, healthcare. If you're a project manager, if you're a business analyst, nobody is safe anymore. So AI has found its way into almost all the different industries and sectors. And the interesting thing is, everyone is trying to leverage AI to be faster, to leveraging AI to cut down their expenses, especially on staff. If one person could do something, why would I pay 5 people to do it? And there's been a lot of problems with that anyways. For those of you who might have heard that right now, companies are no longer employing junior developers, junior software developers, because AI already writes codes. So why would they need to employ a junior developer? But that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a disaster that's waiting to happen for all kinds of reasons. But AI is applicable across all different sectors and industries now. And that's the point I wanted to make. with this slide. So let's talk about this four popular AI tools. I wish we could talk about more tools, but we're pressed for time. So I've identified four of them. ChatGPT, which you could use for basically anything, from educational needs to healthcare needs to marketing needs to business needs, small business, medium scale business, even corporate enterprise business. It can support you. We've got Mid-Journey for marketing, for advertising, for social media, even for real estate, which means that with ANI, artificial narrow intelligence, because it understands natural language, you don't really, anybody can use it. Anybody can prompt it. And we will be talking shortly about that. And then there's Lovable, helps you if you've got an idea in your head. Before now, if you wanted to build, if you've got an idea, you wanted to build a web app, a web application, or a mobile app, you would need to pay a developer, at some point. But right now, you could prompt Lovable, and it's going to generate a full-fledged working web application or mobile app to you right now. If you wanted a prototype, you can prompt it. It gives you a prototype. If you want to design forms, you don't need a graphic designer. No. If you need it for your business, certain business solutions are embedded in Lovable right now. Same thing with 11 Labs, voice cloning, text-to-speech, that's TTS, voiceover, or filming, or whatever you want to do in media. You can achieve it with the power of AI is embedded in 11 Labs. And this is so interesting because I think a couple of weeks ago, Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, was literally screaming, talking about how AI is enabling fraud. And for those of you who activated voice for your banking, I think you should deactivate it. And I'll give you a really short story, maybe not a story. So for some of you, I've experienced it, and I'm sure some of you can attest to it. Some people, some random numbers will call you, and you say, hello, 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 and it drops. So what I heard is some of these random numbers, there are people who are harvesting people's voices, and they're sort of building a database, they're training some sort of LLM to clone your voice, so they could use that voice to try to access your bank account. Now, it might sound complicated to you, but trust me, it's very simple. So if you have voice banking, I would encourage you to deactivate it. Unfortunately, we can't go deeper into all four of this, but I promise you, we will go deep into one of it. So I'm going to show you something in ChatGPT. For those of you who have downloaded ChatGPT, for those of you who use ChatGPT, I want to show you certain things. So grab your phones, grab your computer. I would appreciate your computer, and I want to show you certain things. Okay, so Bash, confirm to me that you can see my ChatGPT tab.
No, not yet. We can still see the.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing and try that. Okay, I've stopped sharing. I'm gonna try it. ChatGPT share.
Yeah,
How
we
about
can
now?
see it now.
You can see
Yes,
it
we
now.
can.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, I think I got in the hang of it. So this is ChatGPT, and I want to show you four things. I want to show you models. So here you have all the different ChatGPT models. For those of you who didn't know that there's more than one, there's the 4.0, there's the not 4.0, 4.0, 0.3, 0.4 mini, 0.4 mini high, 4.5, 4.1, 4.1 mini. So these are the different AI models. And as you can see, they're good for different type of tasks. But I use 4.0 because it helps with all kinds of tasks, or different tasks. It's not very specialized. It's more of a generalist model, but it gets the job done. So if you're interested in, if the task you're doing is more of that requires advanced reasoning, maybe it has to do with some scientific research, then you can change to this model. Or if you need something fast and intuitive, you can change to this model. If you don't want plenty of stories, just want really accurate facts, you can switch to this model. And there are all kinds of models that you can use here. If you want to do a research, this 4.5 would be your best bet. But the thing is, right now, AI is still very expensive. For those of you who grew up in Nigeria, when mobile phones and GSM days, when it first came, SIM card was more expensive than a phone. But right now, I think right now they could even give you SIM cards for free because of advancement in that regard. So I'm really looking forward to when AI is going to be more affordable. Right now, it's really expensive. Personally, spend a lot of money just to use some of this LLMs, and it's quite expensive. So the reason for mentioning that is some of these, they are not free and they've got limits. Some of them would only allow you to prompt it 10 times. Some of them would only allow you to prompt it, I think, 40 times, and that's it. So you could give it a try and you can give me your feedback. Another thing I wanted to show you is it's possible for you to group your different chats. You could group it into projects. For example, I've got my AI project folder, I've got my pending task folder, I've got my AI music playlist. This is just me playing around with Sonar. I think Sonar or Sonar, whatever. So it's AI that helps you generate music. Just give it lyrics and it generates music for you. That's all. And then I've got my Python projects, my MSc, and all kinds of projects. So you can group your chats into different projects just for easy navigation, and it makes your life a little bit easier. Another thing I wanted to show you is tools. So ChatGPT's got new tools now. So this, for example, is I've used it once, this agent mode. I've only got 39 uses left. That's what I was referring to when I was talking about the different models. So there are limitations to some of it. So if I want to go to agent mode, which adds more agentic, I could select that, but I don't want to select it now because it's going to reduce to 38. You could do deep search. I've got 24 left. You could create an image, that's DAL-E. You could study and learn. You could do advanced web search. And this is your normal canvas for you to type your input. So these are the different tools that exist on ChatGPT. If you didn't know, now you know. Now I want to call your attention to customization. From your profile, click on settings and come to personalization and come to custom instructions. So what should ChatGPT call you? My name, what do I do? I'm founder, I'm a co-founder, I'm a business security specialist. You can explain to it, to your ChatGPT who you are, and what traits should my ChatGPT have. And I've specified certain traits here. Keep your writing style simple and concise. Use clear and straightforward language. Write short, impactful sentences. Organize ideas with bullet points, things like that. And I gave it some things not to do. For example, avoid hashtags, avoid semicolons, avoid emojis, avoid asterisks, refrain from using adjectives and adverbs excessively. Do not use these following words. Accordingly, additionally, arguably, certainly, all of this is what I did. Then it says, anything else ChatGPT should know about you. So I went a little bit personal here, but it was still professional. So that's one thing I wanted to show you. Then one more thing is to check this, click on this toggle so that your ChatGPT can keep a memory of your conversations with it. Now, a little bit of security tip, try as much as possible to keep your conversation with ChatGPT, keep it professional. Try not to give it a lot of personally identifiable information about yourself. Try not, it's hard, but just have it at the back of your mind that it's possible for ChatGPT, the information or data it holds about you, it's possible for it to get out of ChatGPT into some third parties' hands that you might not like. So that's something we should bear in mind. One more thing, I've shown you customization, I've shown you tools, I've shown you models, I've shown you this bit. All right, guys. So back to our slide. Just bear with me a minute, 1 minute, guys, so I can switch back to my slides. Got it. Okay, can you see my slides?
Yes, yes, it is.
Perfect. So I've explained to you different ChatGPT models. I've explained to you how to turn on the memory. I've explained to you the different tools, and I've explained to you how to customize it so that it can be more useful for you. So I wanted to call your attention to this website. It's called There Is an AI for That. That's the actual name of the website. And this website is, as you can see here, there is almost 40,000 AI tools already. So if you want to learn about the different, if you want to check if an AI tool exists to carry out a certain task, just type it here and search for it, and then you can use that AI. So if you want to find out if there's an AI tool that can help you draw, for example, or an AI tool that can help you do your homework, for example, whatever it is, AI for statistics or AI tools for statistics, whatever it is, type it here. It's going to show you the different options that already exist, different AI tools that people have already built. And that leads me to my next point, which is prompting. Now, the interesting thing about AI is it's so smart, but it's also so dumb. And why I've said so is because AI cannot read your minds yet. So the best way to use an AI and get the best out of it is to prompt it properly, because AI can't read your mind. So it's only going to rely on what you tell it to do. And that's why it's very important for you to understand what a good prompt should look like. Now, in all fairness, guys, it's very difficult to hit all of these milestones in every prompt. It's very difficult. But as long as you're aware of it, it makes your life easier, it makes you a better user, and it helps you get the best out of AI. So what does a good prompt look like? What's a good prompt? A good prompt has this different 5 components: a clarified task, and then you specify certain role that you want AI to the role you want it to take on, for want of a better word, and what context is your question, what context is what you're asking, and then try to create certain guidelines and be in charge of the format of the response it's going to give to you. It's like a very smart assistant that you have in your office, but you have to tell it what to do all the time. But if you're able to tell it what to do, then you can get the best out of that assistant. That's what AI is right now. Now, look at this example, for example. Look at this example, for example. These are the elements of a good prompt. There is a persona, there is an objective, there is an audience, there is a context, and there are boundaries. So let me show you how that plays out in this example. So this example would be good for a teacher. Act as a helpful tutor. Now, some people use, when they start their prompt, they say, act as an expert. Now, that's very, very useless, because there are all kinds of experts. So it makes more sense to drill it down, identify a particular persona of experts that you're looking for. So in this case, the expert is a tutor, not just any tutor, a helpful one. Act as a helpful tutor who breaks down complex subjects into easy explanations. This gives it a little bit more context, of what the tutor is of what the tutor does or what's expected to do. And there is an objective. I want you to explain the process of photosynthesis. That's what I want. That's what I need to achieve from this prompt, explaining the process of photosynthesis. But I have a particular audience. I don't want you to blow big grammar AI because my audience is a 14-year-old student. So it's very important to specify my audience and in what context to assist that student with their biology exam preparations. See, not just a 14-year-old student that got scholarship, not just a 14-year-old student that's only interested in sports, but a 14-year-old student that needs help with their biology exam preparations. Now, this is boundaries. Your answer should be 300 words, written in a tone that's friendly and educational. See, you've set a boundary, you've set a sort of guardrails for artificial intelligence. So this is what AI is going to think. Or if this is going to ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude, whatever, or DeepSeek, what's going to think? It's going to narrow down all of its resources to a helpful tutor. It's going to narrow down all of it because ChatGPT or every other LLMs, they're connected to vast. The infrastructure they've got is amazing. The component that it speaks with or connects to, it's really vast. So you help it if you're able to narrow down some of the things that that narrow down what you're asking it. So act as a helpful tutor. So it forgets about different kind of experts. Focus is only on a tutor. And you've given its objective. This is what I need you to do. I need you to explain the process of photosynthesis. And not just for, I don't want you to explain it for a professor. I want you to explain it to a 14-year-old student who needs it for their biology exam preparations. Your answer should be within this guardrails. 300 words, use this tone, friendly and educational. Another example of prompt structure would be for you to have an intro where you introduce a role or a persona, add some sort of context, give it a task, and you could reference other sections. Now, this is, I use this formula a lot. So I would say, consider the details below, and then I itemize the details below. I use that a lot. It's the way I like to use ChatGPT. So I explain, I do a little bit of introduction, and then I give it instructions or say, consider the different points below, and then do certain thing, and then carry out certain tasks. So you could use the same approach. You could use this approach. So this is just having the elements in it. Now, this is a structure. Have an intro, have certain sections where you're going to have your instructions, or sections where you're going to have your references, or sections where you're going to have additional information or additional instructions, whatever. And then you have an outro where you explain to it, so now do this, now summarize this, or now expatiate on this, or now write a post, or now create this content. Okay, so this could be a structure that you can start using. Now, here's an example that's useful for people in the healthcare sector. So if you want to prompt AI, and you just say, tell me about heart problems. Of course, AI doesn't know what exactly you want to know about heart problems. So it's going to give you just any kind of result or any kind of response because your prompt is too vague and it lacks focus, no context whatsoever. Now, you can transform this into summarize the diagnostic criteria for congestive heart failure according to the latest ACC AHA guidelines. See, specific, focus, and there's a reference, right? Or the last bit, what's the best treatment for a 45-year-old male named John Smith with these symptoms? And you list the symptoms. Now, the problem here is you're using somebody's name and you're breaking at least two laws, GDPR laws and HIPAA laws for those in the healthcare sector, because you shouldn't use anyone's identifiable information without their consent. So what you could change that to is just tell me what are the treatment options for a 45-year-old male You could specify their race if it's that important for your prognosis, presenting
Okay.
with these type of generic symptoms. I'm going to round up in a bit, Segun. I knew it was going to be really hard to squeeze this into 35, 40 minutes, but
Yeah.
I'm going to move along. So this slide is for you to identify what point what status or what point you're at. Are you using AI? Are you building AI, or are you building with AI? I know there are some people who are interested in learning data science, people who are interested in becoming AI researchers. This is where you belong, and you need to write codes, write algorithms and whatnot. Now, for those of you who just want to use AI to save time, to communicate better, to reduce stress, let AI handle some of your tasks for you, then you're using AI. And those who are building with AI, which is the category I belong to, you're just taking it a step further from using tools to also creating tools for other people. So you need to identify what part, where you belong in this category. So what does the future look like? My first prediction is AI will become invisible. And that means that it will be so interwoven into our lives that we would hardly recognize it. And that's where we're heading to, because now everyone's talking about AI agents. Everyone's talking about agentic AI. And number two prediction is jobs won't disappear, but tasks would shift. Tasks will be different. For example, we wouldn't need people to write codes anymore. We would more or less need people to determine what those codes will be used for, or what codes are good for. So jobs won't disappear, tasks will shift, and every professional will need AI literacy. And that's why we're doing this, because for you to survive the future that's already here, you need to be AI literate. You remember those days when, if you're applying for any position, they ask you, are you computer literate? And that's the same era we're heading to right now, where everyone will need to be AI literate. And AI won't take your job, but someone using it will take your job. And that's almost a fact right now. So I'm inviting you to join our masterclass. Just as a round off, I'm inviting you to join our AI masterclass, which we're going to be starting at the middle of this month. So I implore you to take out your phone, scan this QR code. And for those of you that are in Nigeria, there is a special offer for the first 10 people. We're giving you 50% off. Now, the thing is, as you can see, this is very cheap. So the idea is not for us to become millionaires or billionaires. The idea is for us to impact people with knowledge. But we still need to run the business. We still have administrative fees and administrative expenses. So I don't want you to think about this in terms of the money. Think about it in terms of the value, because we're going to be, what you'll get would include a live walkthrough of real tools. We couldn't do that today because we're pressed with time. We're going to be showing you use cases that is tailored to the type of job you're doing, or tailored to the type of business you're into. We're going to show you different hands-on activities. A good example is what I showed you with ChatGPT today. And it's going to be very flexible, and you could have different, you could also have flexibility in the payment structure. So guys, I want to thank you so much for bearing with